The following feature presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
This is what you can look forward to on episode 518 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
Hey, is it time to record? Why, yes it is!
I have the power!
Not anymore, you don't. And voila, you have new Star Wars.
What are these words? These words don't belong in Star Wars.
All the while, Spider-Man is trying to break in to tell kids about his new show, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Biggest question here is, what is Starfire Rising?
Are you ready?
Off to Neverland.
Here we go!
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
You're more than just fans. You're family.
Best day ever!
It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Hey.
When you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
When we visit the world of Disney, we never grow old. It's a Peter Pan, Never land that keeps us young in heart.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are skywalking through Neverland. I have a good feeling about this.
Hey, Skywalkers! In this episode, we continue our classic Marvel Star Wars comic series with a breakdown and read-through of issue number 54, Starfire Rising. This is the John Carter story with a Star Wars overlay. And this will mark the halfway point in breaking down the original Marvel Star Wars comics that ran from 1977 through 1986. We started breaking these down 10 years ago, and we're just now at the halfway point. Which means it's going to be 2035 when we finish.
Wow.
But for right now, let's come back to the present day because we want to welcome you back to Skywalking Through Neverland. I am Richard Wolosky, but now everyone please say hello and give a big giant hug to my sweetie wife Sarah because she just admitted to me that she has the grumpies.
Don't you guys get the grumpies? Sometimes it's a time of day. Sometimes it's when you wake up in the wrong way. So I don't know. But this afternoon I'm feeling grumpy, and I'm hoping that this recording will turn it around.
Oh, it's going to.
I think
you know
it will.
What? I've already seen the show. And
Oh.
it's a lot of fun. Oh, Julie in the Sky Chat is sending hugs.
Okay, that makes me feel better. Aww.
Nice. All right, so there you go.
Yay. Okay.
Mission accomplished.
Well, Skywalkers, we are your enthusiastic podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, Marvel, and pop culture fandom. No matter what time of day you're listening, maybe we can help you get out of the grumpies too. So it's time for a weekly Wookiee hug. And your little sprinkle of pixie dust for our family of Skywalkers. Okay, so Richard, always we are looking to see what our YouTube numbers are because we are over 10,000, but we still want to climb and climb and climb, just like Nemec says.
All right there. Well, you know what? Going with that theme, we're on a pretty good high right now.
Oh, yeah.
We have 10,568 YouTube subscribers as of now. And like we've been saying, we want to get to that magic number of 11. Our subscribers go to 11. 11,000. That's what we want to get by San Diego Comic-Con, which is, just about two months. 2 months now.
Oh, yes. And we can announce that we were accepted for a panel. We can't say what time yet because the schedule's always kind of in motion.
Yes.
Is the future. But we have been accepted for a panel there. So we will have a presence at San Diego Comic-Con. We are super excited.
But if you connect the dots, you can pretty much guess when it is, what day, and what we'll be doing.
Yeah.
Connect the dots. All right, now we are being sponsored by Small World Vacations, and they are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency that can help you book your trip to a Disney park around the world, a Disney cruise, or the Universal theme parks. We have been salivating over Epic Universe.
It just opened this past week.
It just opened, and you know what? Up until now, I was just only excited for Dark Universe, but then we got on our How to Train Your Dragon kick, and now we've been watching it's the Islands of Berk. That the
Yeah,
name up there?
Isle of Berk.
I don't know
So
what
it's
Berk
How to
is.
Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk.
Yeah.
Berk is the island name.
Okay, well, there you
Yes.
go. All right, we've been watching a lot of other YouTuber videos, and you see a little Toothless. Oh.
And little baby dragons.
Toothless.
Yeah.
So now we just cannot wait to get to Epic Adventures.
Epic Universe.
Epic Universe. We will have Epic Adventures, and I just want to pack my bags right now and go.
I know.
Yeah, but you know what? We called up Small World Vacations, and we are going to go later on this year. And they are taking good care of us. So head over there to smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Now, we are recording this episode from Long Beach, California on May 29th, 2025. So, Richard, what happened today in Star Wars history?
Well, this is very timely. On this date, May the 29th, but in 2019, 6 years ago, after a 33-year hiatus, Marvel Comics continued their classic Star Wars series and released issue 108.
Wow, which is called Forever Crimson.
Yeah, so the 107 came out in 1986, 108 came out in 2019.
Wow.
It was a long wait, but it was well received. We loved this comic. In fact, we reviewed this comic, Forever Crimson, on episode 495.
Yeah, since it was a direct continuation of issue number 50, Crimson Forever, which came out in 1981. Yeah, it was fun to do those back to back.
Who cares about the wait time, just as long as we put it out there. Now, Forever Crimson, published in celebration of Marvel's 80th anniversary, encompasses 5 short stories that feature Jackson.
Look at him.
A Mesa Fox train, and the droid-hating bounty hunter, Valance the Hunter.
Yes.
Now, our goal is to keep doing these classic Marvel Star Wars comics so it stays relevant and they continue with more classic Marvel issues. It's been 6 years.
Oh, man.
I know. Let's do another one. Maybe like a yearly annual.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like those big treasury comics. Just something to bring back those right now, classic and retro is in. So let's bring back Simon Grayshade, Mastercom. I want to see the return of Don Juan Quixote.
Me too.
There's just so much they can do. So Marvel, Disney, Lucasfilm, whoever needs to hear this, we want more.
So now let's see how Princess Leia is getting along with John Carter. I mean Aron Peacebringer.
Okay, that's more like it.
In classic Marvel Star Wars comics, issue number 54, Starfire Rising.
Skywalking through classic Marvel. Skywalking through classic Marvel comics.
All right, now, as a reminder, like with the last classic Marvel Star Wars comic episode we did, that these issues are based on unused art for the canceled John Carter Warlord of Mars Marvel Comics series.
Yes.
Now, Marvel canceled the John Carter series after only 28 issues, but not wanting to waste unused artwork, which was done by the same artist as the Star Wars series, Chris Claremont was brought in to write a new Star Wars story based on the existing art.
That's quite a tall tale.
It's like a chicken and the egg thing. What came first?
Yes.
He's also a writer on the John Carter series, so everything just fell into place. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame them for doing this, and I'm sure this is something that is just not unique to this Star Wars 1-2 punch that we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Then Walter Simonson adapted the art to fit into these issues, and voila, you have new Star Wars.
Yeah.
All right, now, just by looking at the Herculean new characters that we're getting in these Star Wars comics, you can instantly tell that they are not Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, not until 1995's Power of the Force line of action figures these guys and gals. No, these are the Star Wars John Carter action figures.
They really are.
Maybe these action figures were meant to tie into these comic issues.
Yeah.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah, look at this cover here. You got John Carter. You got these guys. Totally fits.
Okay, look at Han Solo right here, this action figure, and look at John Carter. It all makes sense, and no one noticed until now. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
See how everything just connects. Everything just connects.
It does. It does connect.
All right, now.
Oh, He-Man and the Rebels of the Universe. Cool.
All right, now, if this is the first time that you're joining us for our classic Marvel Star Wars comic series, and based on the number of YouTube subscribers and podcast downloads, we may have a lot of new audience members watching right now. And so, as we read through these comics that was published, once again, from 1977 through 1986, I'd like to share memories of reading these comics as a kid, or in my case, looking at the artwork, or in the case of these issues, looking at the covers.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. I looked at the artwork and said, nope, not for me.
Oh, okay.
So I looked at the covers and put it in my collection. And as we go through these issues, we make several connections and parallels of these comics to the characters and shows and films and the current Star Wars that's coming out right now. Every once in a while, you can tell that Lucasfilm dipped into the classic Marvel Star Wars comics barrel of fun and chose different things to include in these new shows. I'm looking at you, Crimson Jack and Jordan Nawood.
I think it's more than every once in a while. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we find parallels every episode. It's very intriguing.
And it's always fun to let the Skywalkers know what these parallels are as we come across them. There have been a ton. Now, as we may see in this comic, there's also a Beatles and Batman connection with the Star Wars universe.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Beatles and Batman. That sounds super fun.
It is super fun. All right. We'll get into that later on.
Yes. Okay, so I never read these comics as a kid. In fact, the first time I'm seeing them is right now, because I was not a comic book reader. I read novels like, nom, give me novels, but never a comic book reader. So this is expanding my mind, and I love looking at the artwork too, because wow, it's really, some of them are great, beautiful pop art moments, and some of them just aren't. Yes. So, of course, I use my artist's eye and really talk about the artwork there and the coloring and everything like that. It's really fun.
Another high point is listening to you in the other room going, WTF?
Yeah. Well, as I'm reading the comic, you'll hear my random, like, whoa.
Your colorful commentary.
Yes. Wow. Okay, so in the last issue, care for a summary? Because this issue is going to be a continuation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in the last issue, Last Gift from Alderaan, Princess Leia Organa investigates the Imperial activity in the Shiva system. But her ship is damaged by a space mine. Leia escapes in a shuttle, which crashes on Shiva 4 and is attacked by a savage raiding party. A group of natives led by Warlord Aron Peacebringer, the Star Wars adapted John Carter character, and his crew thwart the raiders and rescue the princess. Leia returns to the capital city with Aron and tries to warn him of the danger of the Galactic Empire, but Aron is not convinced that such an empire exists. During a gala, Aron then learns the hard way about this non-existing empire. And Aron is slowly falling in love with Leia, even though he has a wife and kids, and his wife is pretty hot.
Mm-hmm. Well, have you seen Leia in this issue?
Well,
he's got some choices to make.
Leia?
But
Leia?
I know he's married, so you know what? Keep it in your loincloth. All right, now, in this issue, Starfire Rising, Imperial General Scar captures Aron Peacebringer and Princess Leia. As the two heroes struggle against their bonds, Aron discovers that his friend, Delois?
Deloise.
That's not Deloise.
Deloise.
Delois.
Okay, I always said Deloise in my head.
Okay,
Deloise.
Okay, we'll say Deloise.
Deloise.
It's Delois.
Yeah.
Deloise.
I say Deloise.
Oh, we'll call him Deloise.
Okay.
All right, his friend Deloise has turned traitor and joined forces with Scar. Now, Deloise and Scar plan to bomb Aron's government, the Kalian Confederacy. Oh no, that's where his wife and child are. Oh, convenient, Aron. Now, when all seems lost, Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca, Lando Calrissian, and the droids, and Aron's best friend, Carol Longknife, arrive to fight the Imperials. Leia finds Scar's antimatter bomb and begins defusing it, but will she defuse it in time, or will this world be wiped out just like Alderaan?
What's gonna happen? Oh my goodness.
Now, this issue was released September the 22nd, 1981, and it was written by the John Carter crew of Chris Claremont, artwork by Walt Simonson and Carmen Infantino, with coloring by Glennis Wine. And this cover art, this was done by Walt Simonson.
Yeah.
Now, in this cover art, we see Leia and Aron, they're leaping across a chasm fleeing from stormtroopers. Imperial General Scar is demanding, in the name of Darth Vader, destroy them. All the while, Spider-Man is trying to break in to tell kids about his new show, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, beginning September 12th on NBC.
Yeah, okay, so this episode came out September 22nd. I say episode, I mean issue.
We got it.
This issue came out September 22nd, and yet September 12th, they're advertising for like a new, comics and shows on TV.
Yeah, I
a little
think
late on that
they
one.
already had this advertising, so instead of trying to reprint,
yeah,
that's 10 days
they
later.
They already paid for it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
The whole point is to let kids know that Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends are debuting on NBC.
Okay, well, first of all, we already have a comment from our
The
commentators
Sky Chat.
here, our Sky Chat. Julie is saying, is that Thanos' brother
Yes,
on the cover?
It's his older brother on his father's side.
Scar, you mean.
Scar.
Commander Scar.
Yeah, another name that we
Imperial
just retconned
General.
into, Scar.
Yeah, Scar. It's like, wait, shouldn't he be a lion? I guess not. Yeah. Okay, so Richard, what did you think of this cover art?
Now, I really loved this cover as a kid, and I couldn't wait to pick it up and start reading the story inside. Look at this cover. It is so dynamic with the multiple laser fire. There's stormtroopers and that purple alien up front that mentions Darth Vader. Where do you go wrong with this? Plus the little Spider-Man up top. This had everything that just called out to a 12-year-old. And look at this depth of field with the pink and the purple. Everything about this cover just works. Now, I want to know who Scar is talking to here.
Yes.
Because he's saying, in the name of Darth, what does he say? In the name of Darth Vader, destroy them. But who's he talking to? Maybe someone
talking to his troops
outside the panel. The troops are way far away.
Right, but I'm sure
saying,
he's got a commander next to him who obviously I mean, this is conjecture, but he has a commander next to him who he's talking to, and the commander's relaying the
Well, then where's the commander's like, don't I get a little screen time here?
No. There wasn't room on this cover.
Yeah. No, I know that's something that it's a very nitpick, but I think even as a kid, I'm thinking, who's this guy talking to?
He's talking to you.
Oh.
The
Okay.
audience.
All right then. Well, then he should be looking right at us then. Make eye contact, Scar. No social cues, okay? Always look people in the eye when you're talking to them. All right. What do you got?
All right. Well, I saw this cover and I was like, what am I looking at? I see far in the distance Leia and someone in animal skins leaping from a ledge, being shot at by stormtroopers. This reminds me of the chasm crossing in the Death Star in A New Hope. There's a purple alien in the foreground, but it's really not a very Star Wars alien. So I'm wondering what it is. Apparently, we did see Scar in the very end of the previous comic, but it's been 2 months since we read that, so I didn't remember. So, I guess this commander's leading the stormtroopers. Now, as for artwork, I do think it has dynamic motion. The angle is slightly canted, conveying action, conveying, excitement. And the colors are this wash of purple, blue, pink, and teal. In fact, they are the colors of the Disneyland 70th anniversary right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But the only really annoying thing that really stood out to me when I'm looking at this on my iPad is that Star Wars, the letters, they're white, but they're outlined in orange. And that orange just really clashes bad with the pink.
All right, hold on. Let me look at my original copy right here from 1981. I don't know that.
Here.
I guess that is
show
like
it up.
a light orange. Here we go.
Oh, it is orange. At least it is on the iPad. That's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
It's the bright colors. But to me, it's just majorly clashed. Now, I see your comic here, and it actually is a kind of a brighter, I would say, Easter orange that looks better with the pink. But the orange translated into the iPad did not look as good. It was a muddy orange, and it didn't work as well. So it really clashed, and it was bothering my artist's eye.
Okay. All right. Good points. Good points.
Yeah.
Now, as always, we put this cover out on our Facebook group and the page at Skywalking Through Neverland and asked all the Skywalkers to have at it. What do you think of this cover art?
Okay, well, first we have some Sky Chat comments here. Let's see. Rex Gordon just has hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Rex is all into the classic Marvel Star Wars comics. Yay. And Jeff thinks that the blaster bolts really draw your eye all over the page. So I'm guessing, Jeff, is that kind of a bad thing? Like it's
yeah, there's no
too
like
much?
focal point where it all focuses into one thing. It's all like going back and forth. But that's probably a good thing to tell you that this issue is very confusing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's go to our Facebook comments.
Patrick Izzo starts off with Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends is still one of my favorite animated series. I guess that's his commentary on the cover itself.
You know what's funny? Was that Spider-Man art on the iPad? It must have been.
Yes, it was.
Because this is where you take the picture.
Exactly.
I did not notice that at all. I was just looking at purely the cover because I had a job to do. I was doing my comic book cover.
Red Spider-Man mask just draws you right in.
Yeah. All right. Matt Schott writes, striking cover. Loved Spider-Man and His Amazing
Everyone
Friends.
is drawn to Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
But not fond of how the banner disrupts the artwork. I like when the artists on the series had elements of their art go in front of or a bit behind the Star Wars logo, using it as a design element. In this case, it does both. Oh, he's right. Some of the shots from the stormtroopers go right in front of the logo, as are Leia and Aron.
Yeah, the laser fire is going all over the place, including in front of the Star Wars logo.
That's a great point, Matt. And he continues, also rare is that some of the art even goes over the droid's corner box a bit, adding to the depth effect. And if you notice in my show art for each of our shows, I use that depth effect a lot. Like I'll put a character right in front of our logo.
Yeah, you can see the stormtroopers, their helmets are peeking right in front of the droid box.
Oh, okay, here. Here, show.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, yeah. Okay. How nice.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever done that before.
No, not that I remember. I mean, I'm sure that they've messed with the Star Wars logo itself before, but not the droid box. Yeah, that was always like right in front. Or Luke. Luke was in the previous box.
Right.
When did they change to the droids in that little box?
For The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That's what because the droids weren't on any of the covers. They said, hey, let's throw a bone to the droids and put them in a little Marvel box up there.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, now Scott Bowman, he says, Rebel number 1 says, how? How did you know where to jump between the lasers? And Rebel 2 says, oh, I learned from watching Sean Connery teach Catherine Zeta-Jones how to do it in that old movie. And I'm thinking, old movie? What old movie? Oh, yeah, the movie Entrapment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I never saw the movie, but I saw the trailer a number of times because you saw Catherine Zeta-Jones in her tight cat suit slinking in between the lasers. And
wow. I don't remember that. I mean,
do.
I remember Catherine Zeta-Jones from Mask of Zorro, but I'm like, well, Sean Connery isn't in that one.
No, but Catherine Zeta-Jones, she was slinking all around.
Okay. You can have a crush on her.
Okay, good. All right, good.
I have a crush on her, so it's all well.
All right, now let's play it safe and move on. And hey, look who's next.
Rex Gordon.
Rex Gordon also weighed in. Oh, Julie says she loves Entrapment. I didn't know this was a movie, not just a trailer.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I feel like I would have seen it. I mean, with Catherine Zeta-Jones and Sean Connery.
Yeah. Winning combination.
Yeah, I feel like I did in the theaters once, but it didn't make a big impression. All right, back to Rex Gordon's.
Me neither. Let's move on.
Back to Rex Gordon's comment. You take the title and the droids off the cover, and I don't know what this is, but it said Star Wars, so I bought it and read it, and I still don't know what's going on. Colorful and make mine Marvel. Rex, I feel like he just summed up the comic, and we have nowhere to go from here.
Right, but you know what? We've got to do it. Just to see if it makes sense this time around.
And to bring you guys some fun.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
are you ready? Okay, first of all, if you are listening to this episode as a podcast episode, we really recommend you go to YouTube and watch the show, because we are going to display the art of each page as we talk about it, and it is so interesting, especially the fact that this is adapted from those John Carter comics. And you can like really tell when they're putting in Star Wars characters or not in different pages.
All right, Skywalkers, we're taking this one for the team.
All right, here we go.
Now we continue the further adventures of John Carter.
Oh, wait.
Did I say John Carter?
You did.
I'm sorry. The further adventures of Star Wars.
But look at this. Look at this splash page.
Oh boy. All right, now.
There's no Leia. There's no Luke. There's a mention of Leia. All right,
There's
go
no
ahead.
Star Wars whatsoever. All right, now the narration from Aron Peacebringer's point of view catches us up. Weeks ago, Princess Leia Organa, on a scouting mission for the Rebel Alliance, crash-landed on my homeworld, Shiva 4, a small planet on the edge of known space. I, Aron Peacebringer, warlord of the Kalian Confederacy, rescued her, and she soon discovered circumstantial evidence of covert Imperial operations within my realm. She told of her suspicion, but before I could act, we were both captured by Imperial Commando stormtroopers and taken to the Empire's hidden base. Yeah, those are those big giant stormtroopers.
Oh, that's
those
right.
Big commandos.
And they fly now?
They fly now. So
Wow.
hey, now we're all caught up. Are you clear?
Yeah, I'm clear. I'm
Yeah.
clear. We even have some more comments. So first of all, welcome Maria. She is here. And Jeff is saying, that's a He-Man outfit for sure. Yes, Jeff. So John Carter was the original He-Man.
I think even He-Man would say, Aaron, come on, put on some clothes.
Well,
You're embarrassing us.
I don't know. And you know, he's even got the He-Man pose right now with his arms above his head, going, I have the power.
Not anymore, you don't. Because Thanos' brothers got you chained up.
Yes. Okay, so this splash page, there's no sign of Leia or our Star Wars heroes. You just see that purple monster Scar from the cover, and he's pulling John Carter / Aron up in chains. But I do feel like the motion, again, they're really good at displaying motion in these comic book pages. And there's the portrayal of motion with lines behind Aron, like Scar has just pulled him up and he's like taking him in his hands and, you know, telling him what's what. So he's saying, I am Scar. Just like that.
Yes. And he's saying it's Deloise, not Deloise.
Deloise.
Deloise, okay. Not Deloise.
Oh,
all right.
And then Julius.
Wait, you know what?
Oh,
okay,
yes.
I'm thinking, did Timothy Zahn write this? Because there's an apostrophe in the middle of his name. S-K apostrophe A-R.
Sabaoth.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
luck.
all
Good
those
luck.
apostrophes. Okay. Julie is saying, I love a guy named Peacebringer. That is a warlord. Yes. He does explain later why he's very intent on bringing peace. Yes.
Through violence.
Just call him Dom. DeLuise. Yeah, Dom. I like that.
There you go. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
Now, the giant Thanos-like Scar bellows at Aron that he has the honor of being a general in the Imperial Strike Force, and Aaron's pathetic little city is his next target.
No.
Now, okay, knowing what we know from Andor and how the Empire treats their superiors.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's take a vote. Do we think this Imperial general will survive this issue?
Well, right now, if our Star Wars characters are in his city, then no, I don't think he will survive.
Okay. Anyone else? Will he survive the end of this issue? Oh, Julie's giving him a thumbs down. Julie and the Sky Chat weighing in. Nope. Okay. All right. You know, let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. Oh. Maria and the Sky Chat says yes. She thinks he will survive.
He'll survive. Okay.
Nice. Good
Nice.
deal.
I like it. All right. Well, I was struck by how Scar is not human, knowing what we know about the Empire only really promoting humans within their ranks, especially as you see in Andor. Do you see any aliens? The only alien we really know who's high up is Grand Admiral Thrawn, who is a Chiss. So Scar must be Grand Admiral Thrawn level indispensable.
Okay. All right, your vote has been cast.
Okay.
All right, now Aron realizes that Leia was right and the Empire is behind the uprising and the growing unrest in the Confederacy.
All right, Scar assures Aron that his firepower is minuscule against the Empire's walkers and Star Destroyers. Any fight will just be a massacre. However, Scar doesn't want to kill these people since he plans on using them as soldiers for the Empire.
Okay, he's got his plan in place. I like that. He's very efficient.
Yes.
All right, just then Leia is thrown into this arena. Aron hears pain in her voice and wonders what has been done to her so long ago. Now, I got to give Marvel credit for trying to keep this connected to Star Wars as much as they can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say that. They did try. They did try. And as we go along in this issue, we'll see how well they do. I think, yes.
Valiant effort, Marvel.
We'll revisit this at the end. Yes. Okay, now I gotta say, how is this Leia? Look at this. This top panel here. So she looks like she's in this like one-piece white bathing suit.
You know ISIS? The Shazam and
Yes,
ISIS hour.
that's what
she looks like ISIS.
Yeah, and it's ringed with this like tiny metal skirt, which comes and goes in this comic. As you go along, it's like she's got like this tattered white skirt, or it's this weird metal like go-go skirt, I want to say, and she has sort of go-go boots, and her hair's pulled back weird here. Like there's no braid depicted here, so you can't see any braids or anything that makes Leia's hair distinct, and it makes me upset.
All right. Well, Jeff Caffrey says She-Ra.
Oh yes, he does look like She-Ra. Okay.
She-Ra, ISIS.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Okay.
All right, now
DeLuise?
DeLuise.
Yes.
DeLuise. Okay.
Dom DeLuise.
DeLuise, the one-time friend and trusted ally to Aron, enters and says he's more of a realist now, and he's gonna serve the winning side.
Whoa.
Now, is that something you want to say out loud?
No.
Because, all right, I'm sure Scar's gonna say, "Oh, what happens if we lose? You're gonna jump sides?" Yeah. This guy's not that bright.
Not at all.
All
My
right.
goodness.
Aron, again, catches the reader up on his relationship with DeLuise, and that one time he thought of him as a son. DeLuise, like any forward-thinking bad guy, well, he outlines their plan, which is to drop a bomb on Aron's throne city, killing his family, wife, his child, everybody, friends, family. Then, out of the rubble will come Scar with DeLuise by his side.
Yes!
Why would you admit that? This is so, what do you call it?
Well, it's classic villain.
Yeah, it is.
Because
Just like
villains...
they made fun of in the Mike Myers movie.
Yes!
Why am I forgetting this title?
$1 million.
Yes. They parodied that greatly with outlining the whole plan. Why am I forgetting this name?
Yeah, it's
someone help us in the Sky Chat.
Mystery Man. Austin Powers. I feel like I want to see that movie again, and yet I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's a lot like that. But plus, villains just usually do that. Even Thanos did that. He was like this, okay, half the galaxy's overpopulated, half the galaxy gone. He just told everyone, this is what I'm doing. And so same way, DeLuise thinks that, he's going to win, so he's just telling everyone, okay. And here, he's telling this on this big splash page where you have this disembodied head. Yeah, it's implying that this splash page is his thoughts. And so, but I feel like it's very disjointed because it's made up of his vignettes of thought depicting that plan. Mm-hmm. So, so you see like the beginnings of his idea, you see the big bang here, and then you see him and Scar ruling it over everyone else. And meanwhile, in the bottom right corner, you see...
That's Aron and Leia.
Aron and Leia, yeah, looking at the thing. Now, there is a wrinkle here in this bottom right here with Aron and Leia. Mm-hmm. Because Aron... Now, unlike a lot of the Star Wars comics, these particular comics are in first person for Aron whenever he's on the screen. And so, Richard, will you be my Aron?
Of course I'll be your Aron.
Okay. So, Aron here is hearing this plan, and here is what his thoughts say.
All right, he says, Leia faced Scar like one carved of ice, raging with a cold inner fire, defiant, unconquerable, beautiful. At that moment, I knew I'd lost my heart to her.
What? Aron, you're married to a beautiful woman.
Yeah, this is the 70s, though.
And in fact, it's like right here. She's right here in the top right. Look at that.
You know what? I'll go so far as to say she's quite the looker.
She is. Oh, yeah, we saw her in the last episode. And in the last episode, there was sex in Star Wars.
Why, yes, there was. But it was between consensual adults that were married.
Well, yes, absolutely. But yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Uh-huh.
Aron, what the heck?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Well, we did see that one night stand in Andor between Bix and her boyfriend, Tim. Yes. Well, they were going out, so.
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah. All right.
All right. Moving right along.
Yes.
Scar orders for Aron and Leia to be brought to their cells. And Leia is not to be harmed. That privilege is for the Emperor himself.
Yikes.
Stormtroopers escort the prisoners away. Aron causes a distraction while Leia knocks out one of the troopers. As Aron says in his narration, the troopers were too frightened to harm the princess, which worked in their favor. However, a guard comes up behind Leia with a very sharp knife. This is sharper than anything I've ever seen in a horror movie. Like Friday the 13th, I'm looking at Halloween. Even Michael Myers or Jason would be like, oh boy, that's a little too sharp for me.
Yeah. Yeah, this bottom right panel here.
Yeah, that's a sharp looking dagger.
Right there, yeah. Now, this artwork, as a reminder, was taken from that unused artwork from John Carter series. And really, it looks like they forgot to replace the woman in that series with Leia in these pages. Especially this top right panel, Leia looks like Gina Davis here. Don't tell me that's not Gina Davis. Look at that.
Got some Gina Davis going on
She got
right
some
there.
Gina Davis cheeks.
The lips.
Yeah, the lips. Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe Gina Davis was an art reference model in the John Carter Warlord of the Mars, Warlord of something.
I don't think she'd be old enough yet at this point. Like, I've just seen Gina Davis in the 90s and
she was in Tootsie in 82.
What? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Okay. But yes, Julie is saying Leia is very, very pouty.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
even before pouty lips became a thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. All right.
All right. Now, here's a great panel.
Okay.
Look at this panel up to the upper left-hand side of Leia and the guards struggling, and it's all being played out in a shadow against the stone wall. I love this so much. In the foreground, Aron battles a stormtrooper who's, I think he's holding a flashlight.
To make all these shadows?
Yeah, he's like, they're doing like shadow puppets or something on the wall. That's I'm not sure what he's holding.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it as an ever ready.
Yeah.
Now Aron watches the battle play out in the shadow projected on the wall. He hears Leia cry out, which is all he needed, and he summons the strength to bust out of his chained shackles. He runs to the fight, only to find the dagger dug deep in the Imperial Guard's heart.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Leia dives into Aron's chest and sobs, since she had never experienced death so close, and see the light fade from his eyes, feeling his last breath. Aron held her close and comforted her the best he could. Now, is this the same tough as nails Leia we know from Star Wars?
That is exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. I know they use a lot of the unused art, but I'm getting to think that a lot of the unused scripting from the John Carter made it into here, because this is not Leia talking.
This is not, yeah. Leia has no compunction about blasting stormtroopers. I guess apparently it was that close knife work that got to her, but it should hardly make her go to pieces. She's killed plenty of people before. And I'm very annoyed that she is taken out of character here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Jeff says, the damsel in distress Leia. Which
Right,
is something
she's not.
that George Lucas said she ain't.
Right. She's not at all. Yeah.
And even Julie says, what? That is not Leia.
Exactly.
It really isn't. That's one of those John Carter characters.
Now, on a side note, I do agree with you that I thought the artwork on this page was beautiful. It doesn't really match the rest of the comic, but I feel like they took a film noir and was like, boop, we're going to make this page film noir. Like someone just watched a film noir movie and had to draw this page. With those shadows, that shadow work is great. It's almost like Attack of the Clones when you see Anakin and Padme's shadows on the garage. Yeah. Oh, Oh yeah.
Yeah, but this is definitely film noir, and it's great. And I suppose maybe they had done a panel where they showed you what was happening with that sharp dagger, but
right, and
a Marvel editor said no, can't have a dagger that close to Leia.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they dishonored Leia, says Maria. Woo, yeah, them's harsh words, but yeah, it just doesn't fit. Yeah.
Okay. Now we go to another splash page.
Yes. Now this is the third splash page in this comic, and usually we only get one, maybe two in a comic. So this one is really fun. It's another canted angle, and there's two silver blue airships that are streaking over the city towards the edge of a city on the water.
Yeah, that's that city with a very long name, which I didn't put in these notes because...
Callian?
No,
oh,
it's
no,
like the Isker... It's a very, very long name.
Okay, all right.
Trust me, I'm doing us a favor.
Well, several of these buildings down here, they look like the Avengers Stark building in New York. Like if you really zoom in. And the sky is this purple, the city is gold, the airships are blue-white, and the narration is in yellow bubbles. It's a beautiful page. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here, Aron and Leia commandeer a silver flyer that looks like it was stolen from Batman. It's got a large Batwing sailor fin, and look at the sky chat.
What? Oh.
Jeff says, "Is that a Batwing?" And Julie says, "Is this your Batmobile?"
Well, let's see. Let's do a comparison here.
Why, yes.
Yes, it is.
Oh, Marvel, you're stealing from DC now.
I love it. It definitely gives off Batman vibes, especially since they're heading toward a city. Might be Gotham. Might be Avengers.
Could be
New
Metropolis.
York. Yeah.
That's the other direction.
Oh,
if we learn anything from Batman Forever, Metropolis is the other direction.
Yes.
All right, now, Aron's inner monologue sums up Leia's grief. She didn't know war like this. She only knew ships fighting, ships in outer space, or worlds destroyed, which is really just incomprehensible. Now, okay, let's stop right here.
Yeah, let's take it back.
This has got to be the most egotistical, chauvinistic character in all of Star Wars. To say that Leia's mind cannot conceive of such large-scale warfare and loss.
You know what? I'm gonna defend it a little bit.
Oh, go right ahead.
And I know. So I think he's talking on just not just saying that Leia doesn't understand. He's saying that mankind in general doesn't understand, can't comprehend such a giant amount of loss. But seeing it on a one-to-one basis is where it hits home.
I don't know. He's
theoretical versus right in front of you.
I get that, but he's looking right at Leia when he's thinking this.
Okay.
And I know he means there's warfare you see out in this battlefield, and it's just crazy. It's chaos. There's murder, and to see a planet get destroyed, but to see someone right in front of you and the light fades from their eyes when it's so close and personal. I can see where he's equating the two, but dude, get to know Leia before you make these accusations.
Yeah.
All right. And commentary.
Yes. Okay. Now, Aron himself, though, has some backstory that he would like to share. So Aron knows what it's like to take the most precious gift of life away because he was only 12 years old when he had first killed, and he swore he would bring the killing on Shiva 4 to an end, which is why he names himself Aron Peacebringer.
The Warlord.
Yes. And he says, the Concordat of Peace forged between my Callian Confederacy and the 12 tribes, led by my non-human blood brother Carol Longknife, fulfilled that dream. What are these words? These words don't belong in Star Wars. Oh, and he says, I would brave the eternal pit and all its devils before letting Scar or anyone destroy it.
Okay, he's got a plan. He's focused. I like that. All right, now, Scar sees Aron and Leia coming in the Batman flyer and orders for their antique ship to be blasted before they can warn the city that they are coming. TIE fighters zoom into battle and are instantly destroyed. Aron says, I've never seen such skill, Leia. You wield this flyer as I do my sword.
Whoa.
All right. So, somewhere out there, John Carter is saying, dude, reel it in. Reel it in.
He's coming on hot.
Very, very hot.
Yes.
And well, she says,
if you think I'm good, you should see the young man who taught me most of what I know.
Han Solo.
Luke Skywalker.
Oh, she says Luke Skywalker.
She does. Yes.
You would think it would be Han Solo.
I feel like she already knew how to fly and she didn't need those guys to teach her. Right?
Once again, this is the 70s.
Yeah. Because she was already a capable person when she met them on the Death Star.
Yeah, and as we read in some of her books, that she had training. She had training when she was a child.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the Leia Princess of Alderaan novels.
Yeah, she and Holdo had training.
Yeah. Oh, those books were good. Okay.
All right, then Aron's dark side starts to creep in as he thinks Leia spoke Skywalker's name with a soft, almost unconscious caress. She obviously cared for him a great deal. I hated him.
This is so funny, his inner monologue. Any man who meets Leia in these comics falls in love with her, which I guess makes sense, especially the way she's drawn. Come on. But it's so funny. Yeah.
All right, now, several of Scar's soldiers run out onto the hull of the ship, like in The Rise of Skywalker.
Now, is this the hull of the ship or just the docking bay in the ship?
Know what? It looks like they're on the hull of the exterior.
I can see how you would think that, but I feel like the hull is this part, this orange part right here, that they're shooting at, because in the narration it says that they're shooting at the hull. So I feel like that's a docking
and they're
bay.
on the hull.
Yeah,
I feel like they're on the hull, just like in The Rise of Skywalker when everyone was running, and then when the Resistance and Janna were all running on the hull of the Star Destroyer.
I know what you're talking about.
That's the way I see it.
Okay. I think you're wrong, but, we'll move on.
I think you're wrong. Let's move on.
No, I get the last word. Phasma.
Yes, you do.
Okay. You're wrong.
As Leia swoops down, picking off the soldiers, she sheds a tear which does not go unnoticed by Aron.
He notices everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he knew all this killing was going to get to her, and apparently it is. Their ship is hit, and Leia and Aron almost leap to safety. Leia misses and lands right on the hull, and she reached out and grabbed the hull so she doesn't fall, but she's like right on the edge.
In her go-go boots and her tiny
little mini skirt
outfit of white. Yeah. All right. So now this bottom middle panel here is another example of Aron, John Carter, in this pose that showcases his full outfit and bared chest. And I feel like they're almost copy pasting, because look at all these panels where Aron is in like almost the exact same pose, exact same angle.
Well, obviously, if I had a body like that, I'd be doing the same thing.
Exactly.
I'd be posing all day long.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, is it time to record? Why, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Another episode of Skywalking through Neverland as my arms outstretched and my legs are in that dynamic pose.
Yes, and all muscles are, what do you call it?
Very toned.
Well, no.
Flexed.
Thank you.
Very
All
flexed.
muscles are flexing at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on, because Aron, always with his eyes on Leia, he reaches out and grabs her, and within seconds, stormtroopers converge on them.
Now, it looks like Leia's getting used to this killing because she shoots this officer at point-blank range right in the chest.
Yeah, and I gotta say, this guy's face is great. His eyes are like bulging out as he's hit right here on the right side.
He's like, have you learned nothing, Leia? This is going to weigh on you forever.
Yeah, now, if you notice, in the panels before, Leia was not carrying a holster on her weird ISIS dress, and yet now she is, and it's like a gigantic holster on the side of her body.
Plot convenience theater.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, Leia says to Aron that they'll have to find Scar's bomb, or their sacrifice means nothing if he detonates it.
That's right. Now they leap from bridge to bridge like gymnasts.
I love it.
Yeah.
And the stormtrooper in the foreground, well, obviously he's very impressed, and he purposely just misses them and shoots straight up.
Yes, it's so funny. Look at, you can kind of see his gun right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the previous panel, Leia, with her boobs out, looks like they're trapeze artists, right? Leia and Aron look like they're like flying on the trapeze, and then in the next panel, they're acting like gymnasts.
For a second, I thought you said her boots were out.
No, her boobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can barely see her boots. But look at that. It's like no body does that. How does that work? Okay.
Gonna be like quadruple jointed for that.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, Scar barks out orders, and his disillusioned view of the Emperor's elite are not living up to their name. Now, where did he come from?
Yeah.
He comes out just to diss these guys.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah, let's go back. So yeah, here they are fighting with the stormtroopers, and all of a sudden he's like in the next panel. It's kind of like when he's off screen, right?
Yeah.
And you do a jump scare, and the person's right there next to the person. It's like, how do you not see him walking up?
If they had combined these last two panels, they could have successfully recreated the cover.
Oh.
So here Scar's off. We don't know where Scar is.
Right.
And see the stormtroopers in the previous panel. They're firing.
Right. Yeah.
But in the cover, Scar's right there in the middle of the battle.
Right, and here's Leia and Aron running. Only Aron has changed outfits. He's not in fur.
Now this is what I was waiting for. Waiting for this recreation inside of the issue.
Now, as we've seen before, the cover is not always going to be what is in the issue.
No, they gotta sell the issue. So I get it, but you know what? I just want to see that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now get ready for a Beatles reference coming up.
Okay.
Aron's narration says, with what began as a madcap helter-skelter chase from one end of the giant vessel's deck to the other, finally ended when we emerged unseen beside the bomb. Once again, plot convenience theater is plot convenience theater.
Okay, I have a big nitpick here. Are you ready?
Before my Beatles reference, Fatum Fast Fact?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So as you said, they are planning this helter-skelter chase, going from one end of this giant vessel to the other, trying to lose their pursuers, right? Well, the whole reason they're there is to defuse this bomb. And I assume that Scar knows this. So all Scar really had to do was to put troopers right around the bomb, and Leia and Aron would come to them. They don't have to chase them around the deck.
You're thinking logically.
I am, but it's really annoying. And then the narration itself says, oh, I see you. I know that that's a plot hole. And the narration takes care of this guard detachment. So the narration says, the bomb had a guard detachment, but not for very long. And then the next panel is Aron and Leia trying to figure out how to defuse the bomb. Not a person in sight. It's ridiculous.
So they had a guard detachment, and they were Union, so their day at work was up?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
They said, all right, we're done.
Yeah, okay.
Clocking out.
Got to clock out.
Yeah.
Can't risk the unions getting on us for doing unsupervised or unofficial overtime.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Hold on.
That's my big nitpick.
All right, I get it. Okay, we're gonna scrub Fernando's comment here.
Oh, scrub it.
Yes, because he says, I would like to have seen Aron in the modern Star Wars movies.
Oh boy.
Yeah, let's just delete that. Okay.
Oh no. Oh, Fernando.
All right, Fatum Fast Fact, Beatles edition.
What is it?
All right, I gotta correct myself. All right,
Okay.
not a Beatles tie-in like I thought, because Helter Skelter, as we see right here, was the name of one of the Beatles' biggest songs.
Right.
Which Charles Manson said, yeah, I heard Helter Skelter, that's what I did. However, in British English, the term Helter Skelter means chaos and disorder.
Oh.
See, we talk about Helter Skelter when the lights go out. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the ghost of Sharon Tate. Now, it could also mean it's a winding slide. Helter Skelter can mean a winding slide around a tower.
Oh.
I've never heard that.
A winding slide that twirls around a tower?
Yeah. All right, so there's the Fatum Fast Fact on correcting my Beatles connection. I still stand by that Batman connection.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
Just
Batman, Beatles. Later on, we're going to get some actual Star Wars connections, but we'll get there.
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, no.
we have Beatles, maybe, and Batman, but I'm not sure we're going to get any kind of Star Wars connections with this.
We'll see.
All right.
All right, back to the story.
All right, now, Aron has to make sure Leia is undisturbed as he disarms the bomb. All right, say what you will, but I think Aron is rocking this fiery pointed hairstyle. Look at that. I want that hairstyle. It's
No, you don't.
No? Okay.
No, you're Captain Pike.
Okay, it's very
Before
anime.
you get Aron here, you're going to get a Captain Pike hair.
I want that Goku hairstyle.
Captain
Deal. Let's move on. All right, now, will Leia disarm the bomb in time? Hard to tell, so let's take a commercial break.
We'll return after these messages.
This Marvel Hostess crossover ad is titled Spider-Man's Dream Girl.
Aww.
So why don't I take on the role of Spider-Man and Peter Parker,
Ooh.
as well as Thug Number 1.
Okay.
And you can take the role of Lisa Skye, narrator, and Thug Number 2.
All right, I am ready.
Okay, let's do this.
All right. Peter Parker has finally found enough courage to ask out his dream girl, beautiful Lisa Skye. They sit on a bench in a dark park, looking out over the river. Several thugs are seen in the bushes behind them. What's gonna happen?
I don't know. And Peter says, what a beautiful view.
It's so romantic. The thugs emerge from the shadows and throw Peter Parker into the river.
Take a deep dive, twerp. We'll show this doll what's romantic.
Oh man. Peter Parker climbs out of the river. There must have been some time passed since he is now dressed as Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Spider-Man says, oh, terrific. Peter Parker gets tossed overboard and Spider-Man crawls up. Can't do that. Lisa Skye will know my true identity.
Help!
I know. I'll divert those clowns with Hostess cupcakes.
Spider-Man whips his web and grabs several packs of Hostess cupcakes and throws them to the thugs.
Wow, Hostess cupcakes.
Fudgy icing.
Devil's food cake.
Creamed filling.
And a nice silky place to eat them.
The thugs are cocooned inside Spidey's web and don't seem to mind. Minutes later, Peter climbs out of the river. Cops are taking the thugs away. Oh, poor Peter.
Some romantic view.
We'd better find someplace warm and cozy, if you know what I mean.
Whatever you say, Lisa Skye.
You get a big delight in every bite of Hostess cupcakes.
The end. Finny. Now, I love the fact that they use the Brady Bunch method of saying someone's name. You can say the first name and the last name.
Oh, of course.
All right, now, after reading this, what do you take away from this ad?
Well, don't be on a park at night in New York.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I take away from this ad.
Yeah, me too. I'm right there with you because I'm beginning to think that Peter Parker does not have the best judgment. He takes his dream girl to a New York City park at night?
Yeah, that's really stupid.
Now, is this just to show that outside of Spider-Man, he's just like a bumbling fool?
I don't know, and you'd think he'd have his spidey senses go off
You
well
would think
before
so.
then.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Now, even as Spider-Man doesn't want to tip off Lisa Skye to his secret identity, so he diverts the thug's attention with the cupcakes.
Yeah.
I still believe that she can still see Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So whose attention is he diverting, and is this really working out? And was he thinking that these cupcakes will divert her attention and she'll forget who she was just with just seconds ago?
I mean, they are Hostess cupcakes.
Yeah, what kind of magical cupcakes are these?
Hostess.
Once again, hashtag, these were the 70s. All right, Marvel Hostess, do better next time, okay?
Although it was really fun to narrate. There was like a person for each of us.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that.
Yeah, I agree. Fernando says in the Sky Chat, these were Hostess cupcake edibles.
Oh, my.
All right,
Wow.
So with that kind of context, it makes sense now.
Yes,
it makes
yes,
sense.
It does.
'Cause Lisa Skye, she's none the wiser. She has no idea. She's like, Peter Parker, who? I just see Spider-Man and cupcakes. I don't know who Peter Parker is.
Cupcakes.
Whoa.
Now I want cupcakes.
Okay, let's get through this and we'll go grab some cupcakes.
Okay.
All right, now back to the show. As Leia is disarming the bomb, she senses an attack. Ooh, her midi-chlorians are tingling.
Ooh.
Deloise comes out of nowhere and strikes a fatal blow that is not too fatal because he misses.
Yeah, so there's a fatal blow in the narration. He misses. And Leia's eyes in this panel, they are clearly blue. Hello, people. Hello. Carrie Fisher and Leia's eyes are brown, all right? Ugh, so many things wrong.
I know. But there's so many things that are going to go right.
Oh,
But
I don't know. Let's find out.
Okay, I was trying to think positively. All right, Deloise has no chance of striking another blow since Luke Skywalker jumps into action. Now, did Luke just pull like a Star Trek and beam into this spot?
Where was it? This is the first time we've seen him in the whole comic, right?
It's like, yeah, exactly. It's like Scar just appearing out of nowhere.
Okay.
I guess they're tying in some Star Trek here because he just appeared right there.
Yes.
And if you didn't tell me that was Luke, I would never know that was Luke.
This is 40-year-old Luke. Look at this face right here. It's grizzled.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's 20 plus years older than Luke is supposed to be, and they've obviously retconned this comic art and made Luke and Leia out of two other characters.
Yeah. Not too successful, Marvel.
No.
All right, now Luke says to Deloise, oh my goodness.
Deloise.
Luke says to Deloise, "You're pretty sharp when it comes to stabbing someone in the back." He struggles with Deloise, who is brandishing his sword. Luke, you got a lightsaber, right? Use it.
That's another reason why you can tell this is repurposed art. Yeah. It's like they would be using that lightsaber everywhere.
Maybe the editor said, "We can do it. It's going to take another $100,000 in 2 weeks. We won't get this issue out." It's like, nah, we're fine. Who's going to be talking about this on a podcast almost 50 years later? Come on.
If Don Juan Quixote can have a lightsaber, so can Luke.
Better words were never said.
All right, so now the Millennium Falcon suddenly swoops overhead, and Chewbacca and the dog-like Carol Longknife jump down into action. Aron asks Carol what that fuzzy giant is by his side.
How is Chewbacca fuzzy? He's furry. He's not fuzzy.
Yeah. And then, so Carol says, "He is a Wookiee, Aron, called Chewbacca, and he is formidable a warrior as I have ever met."
And they're having this whole conversation while they're in midair. They're jumping down from the Millennium Falcon. They're having this whole conversation about fuzzy Wookiees. All right. Although Leia is bleeding and very wary, she returns the ticking time bomb. She once stood by and watched as her homeworld of Alderaan was destroyed. She won't see another world die.
That's right. Now, they're talking about that she is working on this, but she's getting kind of woozy. Mm-hmm. And I think
she's losing some blood.
Luke asks, "What about the slash cut?" I don't see any slash or cut or red
on her right arm. There's like black blood coming from her arm.
It's not. It's if anything, it's like ink splatter.
It's a moderate scratch.
Yeah. Okay. Meh. This is bothering me.
All right. Well, guess what?
What?
Here comes Lando. Lando Calrissian lands the Falcon and runs into battle. He sees Scar running away and mutters, "How typical." So Lando must know General Grievous.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. When the going gets tough, Grievous gets going. He blasts Scar, but surprisingly, it has no effect. "I have a personal force field, you cretin. No hand blaster made can penetrate it."
Wow.
Scar then whaps Lando back and runs away. Very Grievous. He says he would rip his head from his body if he had the time, but that slap will have to suffice. Lando says that he'll play dead and go after him later on. Why? Yeah. Okay, yeah. I would do it now, but I'm just too tired, so I'll do it later on.
Yeah, so I guess so he doesn't slap him silly now?
I don't know.
I don't know, but meanwhile, Leia has been working to disarm the bomb, and guess what?
What?
She succeeds!
Oh!
She does it! In her relief, she does not turn to Aron.
No, who?
She turns and she hugs Luke.
Oh, her brother, right?
Her brother, yes. And then Aron says,
"I realized it was my demon's turn to die."
What? Because Leia hugs Luke and not him? This confused me for the whole page.
I read this for about a day and a half, and it still didn't make any sense. His demon. Now I'm getting it. His demon of lusting after Leia. He's gonna let that die because clearly he did not win the struggle for Leia's heart between he and Luke. That was his demon. Okay, now I get it.
Wow.
Now I get it.
I get it too. Okay. So my demons, like you're purging your demons.
Yes.
And this is
Okay, I get it.
This is like his impetus to do that.
Right.
Okay.
Now Lando sees Scar blasting away in his Batwing and tells Chewie to stop him. Chewbacca throws a solid steel gun mount with a murderous accuracy, and boom. there goes Scar. So who thought, who had it that Scar would not make it out of this issue? My hand is raised. I think Julie's. Julie went on a coffee break.
Okay. Wow, yeah.
All right,
bunch of people. Okay.
Unfortunately, he did not make it out of this issue.
No.
See, this goes on with the whole, if you're an Imperial warlord or general or captain, you ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, Fernando raising his hand. Mm-hmm.
But, you know, he wasn't killed by an Imperial, so we'll give him that.
Yes.
Now, very dramatically, Aron says he wishes all of his feelings, needs, and desires could be laid to rest as easily.
Mm-hmm.
Murder those demons, I tell ya, murder those demons. He says that even though he's got a wife and a family, his heart was Leia's, but hers was not his.
Yes, and now you need to read Aron's last thoughts, his benediction.
As I finally admitted that, my mad, all-consuming need for her faded. Like the sickness it had been. I would always love her, but I could at last live without her.
Moment of peace for Aron's demons.
And his adultery. Adulterous thoughts.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow, and this looks like the end of the
issue?
comic.
Yeah, there we go. Wrap it up. Roll credits, but no, wait a minute.
Wait.
There's more.
There is more. Oh my goodness, the next 100 hours we're busy taking out Scar's base and taking out DeLuise's conspirators.
Wait, hold on one second.
Yes.
Siri, how many days is 100 hours?
Oh, it's 4 days. 4.17 days. I did this research earlier. Yes, I was wondering that too. So in a little over 4 days, we get narration telling us that there was a big battle and they got rid of some conspirators, some moles, some rats.
Okay, look at you,
right?
DeLuise.
Yeah, and the fleet descended on Scar's base. Okay, so you'd feel like this would be a good comic, but no, it's just taken in like two lines of narration.
All right, well then do the math for us, Marvel. Luke is reminded of the ceremony on Yavin after the Death Star was destroyed, and once again, this is Marvel bringing it around to Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. And okay, so now it seems like everyone's happy, right? And look at Luke's popped collar here.
Oh,
he's wearing a white jacket.
That's his members only jacket.
Yeah, he's back to 20-something Luke, straight out of the disco dancing 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, like he just walked out of the club.
Mm-hmm. He's in style.
Wow.
Now Luke looks at Leia with his inner dialogue that says, "True friends unto death, and perhaps one day something more than friends." Right now, his midichlorians are screaming, "Hold out for Mara Jade. She is not your sister."
Yeah. All right, off to the side, Aron's wife, Alice. Oh, she's back. She's wearing a Viking skull cap, and she is happy for Luke and Leia. And she knows about Aron's feelings for Leia. She always knew that he would return since his heart truly belongs to her.
Oh. If she only read this comic.
No kidding. Wow. Oh, but what's Lando doing?
Well, across the ballroom, Lando is capturing the attention of all the single ladies and the not-so-single ladies.
He's putting a ring on no one.
I think the subtext here is adultery is bad. Okay?
This is so crazy. And you'd think the comic would be at an end here. It's like, okay, they're having a celebration.
Nope, there's more.
Even the narrator said, oh, and these guys like to party. It's really funny.
And even Luke brought it around to, hey, this is like the ceremony on Yavin, which is the end of the film, so this is the end of the story. But nope.
Nope, because Chewbacca is left out of the celebration.
Oh, again?
Yep.
Again?
He's relegated to watching from the sidelines with the droids. And 3PO says that he just doesn't understand these functions since humans engage in such irrational behavior and they seem to enjoy it.
Do you know what else they enjoy?
What?
A Colt 45. As Jeff Caffrey says in the Sky Chat, Lando's giving them all Colt 45s. Works every time.
Is that Lando, the actor?
Billy D. Williams. Yeah, he did commercials in the 80s.
There are 2 rules to remember if you want to have a good time. Rule number 1, never run out of Colt 45. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
But wait, this issue is not over because what happens?
Suddenly, R2 starts beeping with a hurried
blip, a dip, dip.
3PO tries to get the attention of Lando, but there's too much noise and too many people on the way. Chewbacca, I like Chewie here, he gets things done, and he just charges right through the people. And 3PO remarks, there's an old cantina saying, when a Wookiee wants something, or in this case, someone, don't get in his way.
I don't think that's really a saying. That's just like matter of factness.
Maybe it's an old cantina saying that we don't know about. Maybe we should have heard it in Oga's Cantina.
Perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now Chewbacca reaches Lando and slams him up against the wall. All right, that was far more unnecessary than it should have been.
Yes.
3PO calls over and tells him that a Star Destroyer just phased out of hyperspace and is heading this way.
Just when I thought this comic is wrapping up.
Nope.
Ooh, but now at least we have more of our characters here in these pages. Like we have Lando, we've got Chewie. There's more Star Wars characters now, which I like. Mm-hmm. So here we go. The Millennium Falcon blasts off of Shiva 4 and heads to intercept that destroyer. Now on board, Leia, she's wearing a very fluffy boa, like a red-pink boa, laments that after all she's done to keep the Imperials off the planet, it's not fair that they are back and will for sure destroy Shiva. She didn't think anything could hurt so much. It's like, what about your planet, Leia? What about Alderaan?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, okay, let's stop right here because she explains this boa thing that she's got wrapped around her neck. Mm-hmm. She says that Aron's wife gave this war cloak to her, even though it was meant for their daughter to be worn in battle. But she called Leia her daughter in spirit. Oh, she could have been your, stepwife.
Is very odd, but wow. Well, at least, Shiva? Is that her name?
Shiva.
She's big enough to look beyond.
No, Alice. Shiva 4 is the planet. Shiva is the system, and Alice is Aron's wife.
So Alice is big enough to look past little small indiscretions, I suppose. But I do have to say that finally we are not in the first person of Aron anymore. Aron is gone. Mm-hmm. So now all of a sudden this turned back into a Star Wars comic. And finally we are hearing from Leia herself on her feelings. Because it was all Aron in the first half of this comic extrapolating what her feelings were. Mm-hmm. And she really didn't have any dialogue at all. Except to think, I have to defuse this bomb. That's all we got. Yeah.
All right. Suddenly the Millennium Falcon is shaken. And for a second, look at this panel. I thought it was the war cloak that had taken on a life of its own by the way it's wrapping around Leia like a Dianoga.
Yeah, this bottom left panel here.
And it was this war cloak Dianoga that was causing all this distress.
Yes.
Lando runs in and says the Imperials are reacting to them faster than he had thought. Luke jumps to the lower hull cannons, Leia in the upper cannons.
Now, what does this sound like?
It seems like Star Wars Escape from the Death Star.
That's right. You can almost hear the music happening. And this next page really demonstrates that dogfight. TIE fighters attack, and Leia quickly picks one off. And Luke picks off another one, but before they can make the jump to hyperspace, they come head on with a Star Destroyer. And the dialogue here also is cute and snappy, reminds me of Star Wars. Let's see, I think Leia or Luke is saying, we have a quintet of ties, make that a quartet, as one is picked off. And then later on, make it a trio, as another one is picked off.
That was good.
It was very cute.
All right, now, Luke and Leia run into the Falcon's cockpit, which is about 5 times larger than it should be. Mm-hmm. As the Falcon races from the destroyer, it heads right for a black hole. And I'm not talking about Disney's black hole. I'm talking about something that less dangerous than Disney's black hole. A real black hole.
Where did this black hole come from all of a sudden?
It beamed in like it's a Star Trek thing. Things are just beaming right in.
Plot convenient. Black hole is plot convenient. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Now Luke grabs Lando's cape to move him out of the pilot seat so he can take the controls. And Lando shouts, "Hey, be gentle with the material. Do you have any conception of what this outfit costs?" Nope. Take that right out. Take that right out.
Really funny though.
So he doesn't care if they're gonna lose their lives. He just cares that Luke is gonna wrinkle his cape.
Yeah, I wonder if he still have capes in the cape closet there.
I'm sure he does. Let's go get a new one, okay? Press that one later on. Luke doesn't even respond to whatever he was saying, and says that he's got to do something the Imperials will not expect. Head towards the black hole.
To which Leia says, "You're not actually going into a black hole field, are you?" Oh, I'm sorry. She doesn't say that.
No.
That was in my head.
Yeah.
So next, let's see what happens here.
Luke tells everyone his plan. Lando gets it. I don't.
All right, so
I don't get what he's trying to say.
Skywalkers, let's see if you understand. Luke says, "I plan to orbit the hole along its periphery. We'll emerge where we went in, but with a considerably higher velocity. By the time the Imperials react, we'll be long gone." All right. So I did a little physics research. Are you guys ready?
Oh, yes, because I got no idea what Luke's talking about.
Well, so what he's saying is they're going to actually use the black hole to go in it and then come out. But if you go in a black hole, you're dead. Yeah.
You're gone.
So I did a little research, and there's several theories because black holes they're known, but what happens when you go in them is theoretical, right? I did a little physics internet research on bbcearth.com. Okay. So, if our team got near or crossed the event horizon of the black hole, which is where you're basically inside. Once you cross that event horizon, you're in it. One of two things could happen. So first of all, the black hole's gravity force would compress you from top to toe. Let's say you go in with your toes first, and so your toes would get even more, like exponential more force than your top, and it will stretch you at the same time. Thus, our heroes would get spaghettified. Like in Loki season 2, where people got too close to the multiverse there. And that guy like spaghettified.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
So that's one thing that could happen if they got too close to the black hole. And then there is another theory, and that is, this is a relatively newer theory, that if a black hole sucks things in, then a white hole spits them out again. And the two are connected via an interdimensional tunnel known as a wormhole.
This is the whole parsec thing.
So I've never heard of white holes before. This is a new theory. So like black holes suck things in, white holes spit things out. And basically, let's see, it's also hypothesized that if you waited long enough, the black hole would then turn into a white hole over billions and billions and billions of years, and then it would spit you out on the other side. But there's no reason to be disheartened that our heroes would be lost over billions of years because of this intense gravitational pressure within, time would be speeded up for you inside the black hole. So it would be over in a matter of milliseconds. However, if Leia and her crew went in to avoid the Imperials, they would come out possibly billions of years after they went in.
Now I get it.
Yes.
Okay. Why didn't they just say that before? But apparently Julie in the Sky Chat, she says, I got it. You got a slingshot around the sun.
But it's not a sun, it's a black hole. It's different. Just because it's infinitely, exponentially more pressure than the gravitational pressure than the sun has. But yeah, it's one of those things. Again, it's hard to conceive of as a lowly human being how much pressure.
But would Aron Peacebringer and his demons get it?
Yes.
Okay. Gotta bring everything around to Aron Peacebringer
and his demons.
Mm-hmm.
Aron Peacebringer needed a black hole to get rid of his demons.
Oh, okay. Julie went out for coffee. Did you bring some back for us? Because that one made my head hurt.
I liked it was fun doing that research. Okay, so let's see what actually happens. You ready?
Okay.
All right. So the Imperials on board the Star Destroyer are getting very nervous as they approach the black hole and suggest pulling back.
Okay. The smart Imperials.
The captain says they can't go back to Lord Vader and say that they had these people within their grasp and let them go.
So one way or another, they're going to die.
Yes. So now Luke is going to implement his plan, and he guides the Falcon with the Force and becomes one with the black hole. So I guess he can sense the event horizon and stay just above it so he doesn't get sucked into that black hole.
See, Julie got it right.
She did. Yeah, I guess she did. And so forget all my black hole research. This has now become a Fatum Fast Fact.
Oh.
Yes.
Let us have it.
Okay, so Luke using the Force to navigate the black hole is like the Skywalkers of the Chiss. This is from the new Thrawn trilogy novels by Timothy Zahn, and the first appearance was in Thrawn Alliance's book from 2018. So the Chiss They are in the unknown regions, which is full of like black holes and other things in hyperspace, supernovas,
and
things,
wormholes.
Yeah, galactic phenomena that make it really hard to navigate through. And so Skywalkers are usually young Chiss, mostly girls that have strong Force abilities, and they navigate their Chiss fleet through hyperspace using the Force to navigate between all this galactic phenomena. And they eventually, as they grow older, they kind of lose their Force abilities by the time they're like 21.
Oh.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Chiss are only Force sensitive, and only a few of them, like Jedi.
Okay.
They're only Force sensitive in their younger years. Yeah.
So they turn in their Force card and get a card for drinking at the age of 21.
Yeah.
Okay, you can have one or the other. You can possess the powers of the Force, or you can go bar hopping legally.
Yeah. So and this is a well-kept Chiss secret that they have Force sensitive children that guide their navigation.
Okay.
So this is something they keep very close to the vest.
That's a good Platoon Fast fact, because I had never known that.
Oh yeah. Well, you read Thorn Alliances, but yeah, it's just one of those. It's been a while. 2018.
Right.
It's been a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, and Julie says, I love the Thrawn connection. Yes, me too. I was very excited.
So next time we see Timothy Zahn, I'll say, you read Starfire Rising, didn't you?
Yeah. I want to know. I was like, where'd you get this idea? It was Starfire Rising. Yeah.
All right, now back to the story.
Okay.
Luke flies the Falcon along the narrowest pathways along the black hole, which he now perceives as an intricate, multicolored energy matrix. It was the most beautiful sight he's ever seen. I don't know. He keeps saying how beautiful Leia is. Maybe it's a second, or maybe this surpassed Leia's beauty. I don't know.
According to this, it surpassed.
Okay,
Yeah.
didn't want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
He successfully flies out of the black hole. However, no one on board the Star Destroyer had midichlorians to help them out, and the ship is ripped to shreds and disintegrates.
I do like this panel below where it shows pieces of chunks of the ship flying off, although it should have been spaghettified.
Well, give it a second. Give it a second. Now, Lando congratulates Luke on some of the finest throttle jockeying he's ever seen.
What?
Wow, let's never say that again.
Okay.
Now, Leia doesn't see that sending those men on the Star Destroyer to their deaths is a reason to celebrate. She used to think so, but now she's not so sure these days. Later, Leia had reached out to Aron to let him know what happened and that they're safe. No more Star Destroyer, so you're safe for today.
Yep.
They are free for now. Luke also mourns for the Imperial crew. They were my enemies, yet I grieve them. But only a fraction of the capacity of the Death Star you just destroyed 2 years earlier.
Oh, yeah.
So Luke's got a kill count coming.
Oh,
he's got a kill count adding up.
A huge kill count. Leia says that the day they lose their capacity for grief is the day they give the final victory to Darth Vader. We may defeat the Empire, but we'll have lost our souls in the process. Okay, this reminds me of Luthen Rael from Andor.
Oh, yeah, very much.
I am doomed to use the tools of my enemy against them. What have I sacrificed? Everything. He sacrificed his soul to fight the Empire. So I guess it's doing good that Luke and Leia haven't quite gone that dark.
Yeah. So apparently Tony Gilroy's been reading these comics as well. He and Timothy Zahn.
That's right.
They're in a story meeting going, shh, keep it on the down low, okay? No one is going to figure this out. All right, Luke suggests that he could leave her on Shiva and just list her as missing, and then she'd have a chance at peace and happiness. No one would ever know. So I guess he's picking up on this whole death thing that she's been lamenting.
Right.
And the war is getting in the way. They just never really connect those dots. He just comes out and says, we could leave you back on Shiva.
Yeah.
They never say how he got there.
No.
But her fate has decided that she is the leader of the rebellion, and she will play that role to the end, as seen in The Rise of Skywalker once again. J.J. Abrams sitting in that story conference room with Tony Gilroy and Timothy Zahn going, okay, no one's going to use this. This is mine, okay? This is mine.
This is gold.
Luke says, and I'll stand by your side. Spoiler, no, you won't.
What? With that, she places her hand over his.
The end. Next issue, the rebels search for a new base only to discover Pliff. But what is Pliff?
Oh.
Find out in Star Wars number 55. Or maybe we'll find out somewhere live on stage coming up very, very soon. What is Pliff?
What is Pliff?
All right, do you want to give them the spoiler?
Pliff is the leader of the Hoojibs. Hoojibs, finally! We made it! We made it, Richard! Oh my goodness!
After 10 years, we finally come to the Hoojibs.
Hoojibs! Bravo! Yes, Jeff, this was a long issue, but it got really fun there at the end. I had a lot of fun.
It took us 10 years. 10 years to get here.
Wow.
Remember when we first started this with Randy Martinez?
I do. Yeah, that was, 10 years ago?
10 years ago, we're finally here.
Wow.
All right, Sarah, what are your afterthoughts after reading this issue once again?
Okay, well, just the inconsistency of Leia, both in artwork and in character, it really bothered me. I mean, Leia's she's such the best character. I mean, especially in this time frame. And I do give the writers credit for trying to tie her story into Star Wars, like with the whole Alderaan thing. It just didn't work for me. And it was kind of an oddly paced, exactly. Oddly paced story in that you had this final climactic scene in which Leia defuses the bomb and then they go back to the planet, everyone's happy, and then you have this whole extra section that seems tacked on. But good thing is that the extra section is our Star Wars characters. It's like they finally left that John Carter mess in the dust, and now we have our Star Wars characters to focus on. Millennium Falcon versus TIEs versus a Star Destroyer versus a black hole. That was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was exciting.
So that was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
All right.
Not my favorite, but
no.
Fun to talk about.
Oh, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so did the Skywalkers in the Sky Chat.
Yeah.
All right, after reading this, I'm now excited to get back to the Star Wars issues.
Yes.
This issue had more Star Warsing than the last one. But now I'm good on all the John Carter crossovers.
Yeah, are we good now?
I think we're good. I think we're good. We're good.
Okay. All right.
And I'm sure the hardcore artwork turned me off as a kid to the point where I just didn't want to look at the panels. I just want to look at the cover and just move on.
Right.
And biggest question here is, what is Starfire Rising? That's the title of this issue.
You're right.
What is that?
Was it the ship where the bomb was on?
I don't think so.
I don't know. They don't mention it anywhere.
Called it #recycling.
That's so weird. You were so right, though. Like, what was Starfire Rising? Except a cool name.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Maria did like the story. Fantastic story.
All
well,
right.
good.
Oh,
We're
okay,
glad.
good.
You know what? There's something for everyone out there. So that's good. Okay.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yes, absolutely.
It was fun. It was fun to go through.
It was fun. I can't wait for the next one. As Julie says, yay, Hoojibs.
Yay, Hoojibs. And Julie's liking the black hole.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she's meaning the black hole here or the film.
Oh, probably. And Aaron's attraction to Leia, Jeff liked that. Oh, Starfire Rising. Oh boy. Wow.
All right, let's move on to our favorite panels.
Richard, I'm going to have you go first.
All right. I'm going to go with the shadow of the struggle between Leia and the guard. That is fantastic. And the stormtrooper holding what Jeff had said in the Sky Chat earlier, an Olympic torch.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is really funny.
Yeah. Or he's providing light for the shadow puppets.
Something,
That's a great noir shot.
It is a great noir shot. I'm going to also agree with you and say that these 4 panels here are very nice. Now, I have another one, though, too.
Okay.
So I feel like this page doesn't match the rest of the comic, but I really like it. And it really stands out. So that's great. Even this panel with John Carpenter, what's his name?
Aron Peacebringer.
Aron breaking his chains because he's so distraught about Leia. That's very nice.
And look at his hair. I want that hair.
No, you don't. Captain Pike hair.
Okay.
All right. Okay, but I do have to give my favorite panel is on page 21 where Luke is using the Force to link him with the black hole's edge. Look at this. It's a beautiful depiction of the Falcon circling the blackness with streaks of rainbow color that Luke is imagining in his head, and the movement of this. And I really like the use of the narration is written within the black hole. Instead of the narration on a white box in black, the narration is in yellow on the black of the hole.
I can see that.
So very artistic, nice use of that space.
Yeah, the composition in there is very nice.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Even Jeff says in the Sky Chat, that's a cool shot.
It is. It's good stuff.
All right, now let's go on to the most favorite line of dialogue or narration.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to go to page 13, where Lando and Scar are having it out. And they're in a middle right panel, and let's see, Scar is saying, Scar all of a sudden decided to dip into his Shakespeare and is speaking in very, heady dialogue, and he says, "On the contrary, rebel, though one of us will perish this day, it will not be me." I don't know, I just thought that was random and fun, that all of a sudden he decided to get out his Shakespeare.
Okay.
Yeah.
As read by General Grievous, as played by Scar.
Yes. What about you?
All right, I'm gonna go with when Luke says to, Deloise. I can't.
Don DeLuise.
Okay, I'm glad this is the last time we'll ever be talking about him.
Yes.
But he says to him, "You're pretty sharp when it comes to stabbing someone in the back."
Yeah, that's
And
good.
He has this big sword, and Luke has got no lightsaber. That was funny to me.
That tickled your
Yeah,
fancy?
it did. All right, most non-Star Wars moment.
All right, Richard, you.
I'm gonna say 95% of the story was my most non-Star Wars moment.
Right.
But it's when I'm gonna also say it's when Lando shouts at Luke, and Luke grabs his cape and he says, "Hey, be gentle with this material. Do you have any conception of what this outfit costs?" No, I know Lando loves his capes.
Yes.
But in the middle of a battle, he would not be worrying about his capes.
It was really
especially this
funny.
one with the Doctor Strange collar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was so funny.
Mm-hmm. So funny and a non-Star Wars moment.
Yeah. Although, if you watch Solo, that seems like a very Star Wars moment. Lando and his capes. But I agree. In the middle of a battle, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and he did make a big deal about it in his in Solo, but not in the middle of a battle like this.
Right. That's why it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My most non-Star Wars moment has got to be on page 8 when Aron is ruminating on Leia for the 800th time, and he thinks hers was as gentle a soul as I have ever known. I wondered how much more of this butchery it could stand. What? So ridiculous. So I just, oh my God, that like infuriated me. It did. Ugh. Ugh. All right, let's go back to our black hole.
Okay, I had a separate guide to all of the best Aron Peacebringer quotes. I was going to quote them to you.
No.
Okay.
Read me Shakespeare instead.
Yeah. Okay. All right then. You know what? Here we go. They're all right here on this little post-it. All his best lines. Gone.
Good.
All right. Now, so unfortunately, there are no star words in this issue, but we'll substitute the star words with this Saturday morning preview ad.
Ooh.
There's two, not just one, but there's two. There's one here headed by Spider-Man. And that is for the NBC lineup.
Okay.
Now, I don't recall most of these shows that they're previewing here.
Ooh.
I didn't know there was an animated Shazam.
Wait, you don't know Smurfs?
Okay, but hold on.
Oh, okay.
I know the Smurfs, but animated Shazam, I would have been all over this as a 12-year-old. How did I not know about this? And what are Space Stars? Doesn't feel like they were trying on that one.
Now, Spider-Man
Stars?
and His Amazing Friends, is that half animated, half live action?
No, that's all. This is all cartoons.
Well, wasn't Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, wasn't that live action?
No.
Oh.
I don't know what you're thinking of.
Okay.
And I didn't know that Bullwinkle made it out of the 70s, but here he is in the 80s.
I think it's rerun.
No, these were all new. These are all new shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all new adventures.
Okay. Well, I really like the tagline that this ad has. There's exciting new fun in 81.
Oh, that's good.
Isn't it?
That's very, very good.
Including me
That's right. But yeah, you're right. They do have their staples like the Smurfs.
Yes, I didn't know Smurfs was so far back in 81.
Oh, they were, yeah.
I mean, they were big in 85, 86 when I was watching them.
Huge.
Yeah.
There's also the Flintstones with all new adventures and Daffy and Speedy.
See, I thought Flintstones were only in the 60s.
Yeah,
weren't
but they came back. It was not well received.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, otherwise I really have no memory of these other shows except for the Smurfs.
You're right.
Rocky and Bullwinkle I saw randomly, and the Flintstones, of course, as well. But yeah, Spidey was long gone by the time I was watching Saturday morning cartoons. I missed out on Spider-Man.
Oh, my goodness. You had the best cartoons. All right. Jeff Caffrey says in the Sky Chat, Sarah is the most exciting part of 81.
Yeah, that's
very much
me.
so. But then CBS said, hold on here. If you're going to have a Saturday morning preview ad, so will we. And Boop. Here we go. We're gonna have a whole centerfold here.
Yeah, they are. So
Yeah.
this is all within the comic?
Yes.
Is this at the end, or is this kind of in the middle?
It's all over the place. Okay, I'll show you.
Yeah.
But you know what? ABC is like, how come no one told me about this?
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, so I looked at this CBS ad and what they're let's see, we've got Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner. Definitely watch them. Tom and Jerry, yes. I knew about Popeye, wasn't a big fan. But there's all these other shows I've never heard of.
They're reaching back into yesteryear with Tarzan and Lone Ranger and Popeye and Zorro.
Absolutely.
That's why all the kids went to NBC and ABC.
Yeah. Oh, you looking where these ads are?
Yeah, and I'm not sure what this Quickie Koala Bear is.
Yeah.
Never heard of that. Black Star, what is that? Trollkins, I heard about it, but knew nothing about it. Yeah, these didn't make it into the zeitgeist, and we won't be reviewing them anytime soon.
No.
But once again, they have their staples. They have Tom and Jerry. There's Fat Albert and Bugs Bunny.
Fat Albert. So this is more than just Saturday morning because it's going till even 1:30 p.m., which I love. It's like this little tiny note at the bottom that says, at 1:30 p.m., you can watch 30 minutes. Explore controversial subjects with a half hour of hard-hitting reports. That sounds awful.
That sounds terrible.
As a kid?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, this started in the morning.
I know,
Worked their way down. Look at that. See, this is the original ad right here.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and once
Trollkins.
Yep.
That looks like something I would have liked.
I'm sure you would have, but that.
I also like Tom and Jerry too.
But I'm sure you would have loved this Quickie Koala show.
Oh yeah. Look at that. That looks real fun.
There we go, right there. Here's the Quickie Koala. Looks like a giant deformed Ewok.
It does, but it's fun with other little animal friends.
Yeah.
They're bunnies.
It's
what is that?
It's the slumped gorilla and a shaggy dog.
Okay.
And a Garfield ripoff.
Weird.
All right, so we didn't get Star Wars, but we did get these awesome Saturday morning preview ads. I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good with that.
That looks real fun.
Oh, Fernando's weighing in with Woody Woodpecker.
Yeah, I loved that one.
And Jeff says CBS. CBS has always been for old people. You know what? You're right. That was the network my grandparents used to watch.
Really?
Yeah, with like Maude and all those All in the Family.
Wow.
They were all on CBS.
Okay.
And even those cartoons like Lone Ranger and Tarzan. Come on, what executive over there is gonna go, I know what the kids want. Let's do an animated All in the Family.
That's so weird.
The Jetsons.
Yep, Jetsons. Okay, Julie says she vaguely remembers this koala thing. Koala, whatever it was.
Or she's thinking maybe she's thinking Shark Tales.
Okay, Quickie Koala. Wow. All right. Well, thank you guys.
So there's no catchphrase in this issue to go out on.
Oh.
Except for "Let my demons die." Well, that wraps up this episode 518 of Skywalking Through Neverland. We want to thank all the Skywalkers who listen to the show every week and pop on for our live recordings and weigh in.
We love it. We couldn't do it without you guys.
No, yeah, this is a lot of fun. And once again, gonna ask everyone to please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have like 400 and change left to hit that 11,000 goal by Comic-Con in San Diego on July the 25th.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find us on all socials at Skywalking Pod. Now, do you have things that you want to share? Well, join us every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific on YouTube. Also, stay tuned. Our summer schedule gets a little wonky, so it might be some different times of day, but stay tuned. Keep abreast of our socials. And this is where we talk about things that we've done in the past week, or we invite you Skywalkers on to come on and share something you've done or something you've just added to your collection. And we also do trivia.
Lots and lots of trivia. See, we don't need no crowd purr.
No.
We can do it every week here with the Skywalkers on things we want to share. I know Maria, who is right here in the Sky Chat, and Fernando and Julie. Oh, they all loved some trivia. And Jeff, our trivia champs.
That's right.
Now, are you interested in our books? Well, maybe none of the publisher is too.
Oh.
So autographed copies of Today in Star Wars History, Part 1 and 2, and Skywalking Through My Fandom, the interactive notebook, are available now from skywalkingthrough-neverland.com/book.
Now, would you like to support Skywalking Through Neverland? You can consider supporting us through the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon. You can become a member of the Skywalking Force, have access to bonus content in the form of our StreamYard discussions on past Disney Plus shows. You have your own special podcast feed with bonus content. Sometimes you get the episodes early each week, and you'll also get a coupon code to use for our books. This bonus content begins at only $5 a month. You can head to skywalkingforce.com, have a look at the options available, and thank you so much to those of you who are already part of the Skywalking Force. You are our life force.
We also want to thank our sponsor once again, Small World Vacations, for their continued support. Thinking of a trip to a Disney park, a Disney cruise, or to the Universal Studios theme parks? Oh, so close. Well, you can fill out a Get a Quote form at smallworldvacations.com today. Their vacation planning service is free of charge, so check it out and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Now, we are part of the Skywalking Network, where you can find other great shows like Talking Apes,
Star Warsologies,
the Max Effects Podcast,
the Neverland Clubhouse,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
and the YouTube shows Collectopolis and Today in Star Wars History. Now, don't forget to stick around for bloopers and other fun bits that didn't make it into the show, and
always remember
to thwart your inner demons.
And
Neverland on Alderaan. Actually, it's been a very good day, actually.
It's been a good day, but I'm grumpy for some reason. I don't know why.
Why are you grumpy?
I don't know. Sometimes you just get grumpy.
We just got some pretty big news today, which we're going to hold on.
I think it's just the afternoon time. Afternoon is not my time. I love mornings.
But it's
love late
not 4
nights.
o'clock yet. Well, where are
I
you
know
recording?
it's not. I know it's not 4 o'clock. I don't know. It's weird. I
All
get
right,
grumpy
but you know
in the
what?
afternoon.
You're gonna have a great time as we get into this episode because
we are.
Wow.
Yes. Clap right now. Okay.
Yes. She did say clappy. Did
I
you say
did.
clappy claps?
I did. Oh, I said claps.
Oh, well then
But
you know what?
that's-
I take them back.
Well, we can't say clappy claps all the time.
Yes, we can.
We can't say clappy claps. I'm tired of saying clappy claps, so I'm not going to say clappy claps today.
Well, then you're not gonna get no clappy claps. Listen,
Wow.
you and your see, this is what happens.
I want some chocolate.
Hey, look at those names to the left. They are part of the Skywalking Force, our Patreon.
Become a producer yourself and check out all the Disney Plus themed bonus content available depending on the level you subscribe.
Become a member of the elite Skywalking Force at skywalkingforce.com.